Yo, welcome. What's up? Hi, how you doing? Hello. I did a little interview with a good friend of mine named Mike Davis, aka DJ Mike2600, aka Mike 2600, aka Mike the 2600 King, record selector, vector, inspector extraordinaire, hailing from Minneapolis, Minnesota, originally from St. Louis, Missouri, I think. I know it's in two states, and it's very contentious which state it's in. One of those two, probably Missouri. Shit. Sorry, Mike. Uh, I recorded an interview this morning with my guy, Mike. Like a brother of mine, I've known him for almost 2 decades. He's been a huge inspiration and influence on me as a multi-talented, multifaceted, creative human being. I tear up a little bit towards the end. We talk about all the different cool stuff he's into, from music to meat to magic. We even have him doodle another M word as part of a new project we just created called Mike's NC-17 Alphabet for adults. Stay tuned. Stay tuned. I'm still figuring out all the lingo. I've never done like an interview show before. This is the very first interview that I've done that's like formal as a host character, and I'm super stoked, man. I love Mike so much, and I hope that y'all are as inspired as I always am when this sweet, sweet dude is around. He's got a show called Sleight Night, which is a mixture of music and conversation and sleight of hand, prestidigitation, and magic tricks. He's got a live DJ show that he does on Twitch multiple times a week that you can check out at DJ Mike2600. He runs burlesque design. He runs co-exhibitions. He's got a beef jerky company with his wife Molly, who's amazing. It was called Cool Jerk, and now they're doing I think a turkey jerky company. I may have that wrong, but follow Mike and you can find out all the deets. And so much more stuff. Mike is an energetic human. He's brilliant. He's incredibly prolific, and we're gonna get a little bit of insight into Mike. And this section, it's called a section now. It's like a segment. I'm trying to figure this whole thing out. This new platform, right? I'm calling these conversations for now synthesizing. To me, it's all about connection. We talk a little bit about connection there. I think that's what creativity is all about. That's what THISTOPIA is all about. It's about connections and being open to making connections. Ooh, that gave me an idea for another show on how you can intentionally facilitate serendipity. I have a little diagram I can share with you. Yes, put that in the mental Rolodex, Adam. Future shit. Tight. Facilitating serendipity. Anyway, it's all about connection. We get there. This segment's called Synthesizing. And I hope you're feeling it. This is the title card. Wow, 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 wow. Are you ready? Here we go. Here we go. This is better.
Are we live?
Yo, no, we're not live. So I'm gonna pre-record this.
Yeah.
And then do the whole thing so I can bring it into OBS. Thank you, Mike
Yes.
Davis.
Yeah.
And then cut it all up and make it look nice and whatnot. I'm not gonna edit it or anything, but
Uh-oh.
I may change the color of your shirt.
Okay. Yeah. Well, green screen.
There you go.
Yeah. Just turn it into like the ocean or something.
Dude, look at your little setup.
Hey, this is my little non-DJing interview corner from the same place. I DJ over here, and then I do other things here.
Nice.
Yeah.
You look totally different. It's crazy.
Yeah. It's the same room, just different angle.
And this is like a cool fisheye Spike Jones kind of lens thing. I like it.
Yeah, I use a GoPro, and then I have just this thing that lets me use my GoPro as a web camera.
Cool.
Like a little just HDMI adapter. Yeah, and then in right into OBS or in Zoom or FaceTime, pretty much like anything. I can just use the GoPro, which is nice.
We'll just do like streaming tech behind the scenes talk for an hour.
Yeah, it's kind of fascinating, like just how much I've learned about it just this year.
Yeah, and again, thanks so much. So
Yeah.
I'm already recording this. I don't know what I'm gonna
Okay.
like leave on.
Whatever. That's fine.
Um, I don't know. It's not whatever, Mike. It's very cool. How you feeling?
I'm feeling good.
That's it?
Well, I assume there's going to be a follow-up question.
No, that's it. That's the interview.
Cool. All right. Thank you. Good night. No, I feel good. I mean, that's a loaded question this year.
Yeah.
You can't just ask someone how's it going. It's a whole, oh boy, whew, how is it going? Well, if we really want to get into it, like every Zoom call kind of ends up just turning into like a therapy session.
For sure. Yeah, that's okay, right? I
Yeah,
mean,
it is. It's
not
good to
many of
talk,
us don't get to talk a whole lot to other people.
That's true. There's sometimes like I'll talk with our new office manager and we'll pick up the phone at like noon and he's like, sorry, I haven't spoken today yet. Like these are the first words coming out of my mouth.
Like retraining in how to speak.
Yeah, pretty much just getting the throat reassimilated with planet Earth.
That's cool. Well, I would love to. This is going to be weird because you and I have been homies for a while, and I've never done
True.
like a weird formal interview. And this
I
is
know.
this
It's
isn't going
cool.
to be formal in any way, but I definitely want there to be a good kind of like introductory baseline set
Yeah.
for those motherfuckers that have no idea what Mike 2600 is.
Are
Excuse
they
my
here?
language.
Are those people here? Is that okay?
They're okay. Yeah, that's all right.
That's fine. Welcome. Welcome,
Um,
motherfuckers.
that's gonna be the maybe name of the interview.
Yeah, that's the new name of your show. Welcome, motherfuckers.
Um, so one thing you're okay, Mike Davis.
Yes, that's me.
That's your government name.
Mike Brian Davis, if you want to get
Michael
gubernatorial
Brian with an I or a Y.
with an I, with an I.
Okay, Michael Brian Davis.
Yeah,
But you go by DJ Mike 2600,
I do. I'm known to.
and that is a Atari reference, the
It
2600.
is. Yeah, it is indeed. I get a lot of people asking if it's like a hacker thing. I guess 2600 is like a frequency of like a coin going into a payphone
Yeah,
back when those were a thing. And like
yeah.
if you
Phone
replicated
freaking.
that frequent, yeah,
Yeah.
you can like hack and get free phone calls on a pay call. So there's like a zine for hackers called 2600.
Hmm.
So like
Hackers
every now and
Quarterly.
then,
But you know nothing about that.
yeah, no, I know as much as I've just told you.
That's great. But it's an
Yeah,
Atari reference because video
it
games.
is. Yes. Yeah, that's what I grew up on and fell in love with. And yeah, I originally you start DJing and or like messing around with music, then I guess there comes a point where it's like, I guess I need a name or something that I'm gonna call myself, and then I just make something up. And I was really enamored with the name Mark the 45 King,
Hmm.
DJ and producer. He did the 900 number, which is a one, and he did music for Queen Latifah and just like endless artists in the late 80s, early 90s. And there's something cool about his name. So I'm like, I don't know, I like Atari, so if he's the 45 King, I'll be the 2600 King. And like that was my name for a while. Then it just shortened it and kind of went back and forth, and now it just resolved on just Mike 2600.
I forgot you were the 2600 King for a little bit. How
Yeah, yeah. I put out a lot of like tapes and CDs and even like digital tracks and things with that as my full.
that's it's crazy that as you became more of a king, you decided to slough the name off like an old robe.
I'm trying to be one with the people.
Humble, magnificent.
Yeah, something like that. Just keep myself grounded.
That's tight. One thing that I love about in your description, so like on some of your socials, you say record selector vector inspector.
I do, yeah. I figured, everyone has these lengthy, father, designer, gardener, bread baker, another gardener, and like just I don't know, like I really like DJing and playing with records. I really like graphic design and illustrating, and just happened upon those four words that all sound very similar, and they just sound nice.
I love it. And
Just simple.
what does a vector inspector mean? Is that a vector of like diseases, communicable diseases?
No, but that might uh, be more useful this day and age. Vector illustration is my preferred um, world of illustrating using vectors, which are points that can connect. Like I don't know how adept in like Photoshop or Illustrator your viewers are, but just to do it simply in Photoshop, if you're drawing, you're generally using pixels, which are just defined squares of color. If you're drawing in Adobe Illustrator, which is what I like to use, you're using vectors, which instead of a square being made up of tons of smaller squares, it's just made up of 4 points, which can be expanded infinitely. So I can draw something that's like 1 by 1 inch, and I can expand it up to 1 mile by 1 mile and not lose any file quality. Whereas if
That's a big
pixels,
file.
it's a huge file, but sometimes you have to print something a mile big. It has to be done sometimes.
That's I was gonna get into the Baudrillardian idea of putting a map over the world. You know the whole like Baudrillard thing.
No,
It's like the map is not the territory. Let's talk about that later. There's
yeah,
gonna be a lot of Baudrillardian references, I think, in here.
sure. I'm looking forward to it.
Baudrillard, he was the 2800 king. He's still alive. I said he was. Anyway, okay. So record selector,
Yes,
vector inspector,
yes.
but you are not just a dichotomous being. Those are not the only two things that you do.
No,
Tell
those
me,
are
tell me about meat and your relationship to meat in a
to meet.
commercial marketplace.
All right. I guess the quick and succinct version is that in about 2009, my then girlfriend, now wife, and I were at Hell's Kitchen restaurant in Minneapolis, and saw they're having a beef jerky contest. So like, make your own beef jerky, enter into this contest, and we're like, wait, Molly's aunt makes incredible Lao style beef jerky. Molly and her family are from Laos, and she um, would always have me eat this like super good, super like sweet, crispy, tasty beef jerky that her aunt makes. So we're like, we could win this thing. So we had her make a big batch, and then we didn't win, but we're like, I think we're kind of onto something with this. Like, if we can keep making it, then we can, I don't know, start a beef jerky business. So we figured out a way to just make a lot of it, and we ended up calling it Cool Jerk. Just had to have a, you know, funky name for it. And we're like, I guess we're a beef jerky business now. And then we found a actual processor in St. Paul who was making it for us, and we're getting into stores, and we were selling at farmers market, and it was a lot of fun. And then we had a falling out with our processor, so we had to put that on the just to the side for a while. And then um, maybe 2 years later, we met with we started going to all these like meetings with food industry people and meeting people from the meat world, and it was a whole new universe
Meat
for us.
World?
Yeah, meat world,
Okay.
which is like I wish it was a theme park, but it's just you know uh, a non-geographic place for meat people.
A Meatopia.
We're all made of meat.
That's true.
Um, but she was kicking around ideas um, with a someone with whom she was consulting, who has experience in the meat industry. And she's like, oh, I have this idea for doing turkey sausage that are also in like Southeast Asian flavors. And he's like, if you do that, I can help you get it going. So we started developing a sausage brand, and we've got two flavors of turkey sausage that
Hmm.
are inspired by traditional Lao sausage recipes, and we just called it Molly's Lao sausages.
And you call
Um,
it Molly's why?
because that's her name.
Got it. That wasn't established yet.
No, oh, sorry.
Molly
Thank
is
you.
for
Thanks for
sure.
keeping track of that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just um,
Got to keep the chronology of the narrative
yeah.
straight,
Thank
you
you. Yeah,
know?
yeah, yeah. Yeah. Just I forgot how much you already knew before this interview started. Um, no, so it's just another creative outlet. She's very excited about the idea of sharing uh, food from her culture
Hmm.
and using that as just a gateway to just let people know that you know Lao people and culture exists, and food is a really good, easy foot in that door.
Hmm. That's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, at the Pressure, the old studio, we used
yeah,
to basically subscribe to the Cool Jerk meat program.
yes, that's right.
We always
Yeah.
we always had jars of jerky, and me and Anton, shout out Anton Pearson,
Hmm. Always.
ate too much. We ate too much of it too fast,
No such thing.
and we're still feeling the repercussions. But it was delicious.
Oh, we
Um,
we thank you for the support.
for sure. You also, one thing I loved about Cool Jerk was the packaging was sick, obviously because
Yeah,
Mike
thanks.
Davis, and you would do like you would kind of bring it into or meet the world of what you meet. You would connect it with the world of what you already do. So if you were like at a market, you'd be there DJing, homies would be supporting and plugging it. There was
Hmm.
just a lot of cool energy around it that could only be done and made it really unique because you were a part of it, which I think
Yeah,
is a good lesson.
yeah, thanks. I guess I'm into a lot of different things, which I imagine we'll continue talking about. But it's fun to find the connections between them, like finding opportunities in my music and DJing world to introduce someone to the jerky, or finding graphic designers who I know and I DJ their weddings. Just kind of finding little points of connecting all these different um, worlds I'm into and groups of
Mhm.
people who I've become friends with over the years. You know?
Absolutely. I mean,
Okay.
yeah, I feel like connection is the whole point. You do it very well too. I mean, you make the connections with intention, and no matter what it is that you do, even if they feel super disparate or non-connective in someone's mind, you have a way of bringing them together in a way that's like, fucking, of course that makes sense, and then it makes something new. I mean, it's the idea of synthesis, right? It's two different
Right.
things coming together to make something
Yeah.
new. Funny enough, I think this segment's going to be called like synthesizing, which is
Oh,
all about creative connection, I think.
yeah.
One thing that you do really well, and I'm jumping around a little bit, but it's all
Fair enough.
connected. Um, so, will you talk a little bit about Slight Night?
Yeah. Um, a couple of years ago, I just stumbled into card magic. It was never intended. I wasn't like a child magician or anything. It just, I would watch like the David Copperfield specials growing up and was like, oh, that's cool, but it's just like a giant stage illusion that just feels so distant and intangible. And then like more recently in life, I would see like the David Blaine specials, and that to me seemed much more approachable, where it's literally just a guy with a deck of cards in his hand, maybe even just like two or three cards in his hand, or a coin, or something just so small and simple. And he's just creating these tiny up close miracles with it. I'm like, okay, this is incredible, but it seems like something that I could learn and actually figure out what's going on. So I just started getting books and looking up YouTube videos of just beginner card tricks with no setup, just real simple introductory card tricks, and starting to just learn the language, and started to just become fluent in it. And the more I learned, the more I wanted to keep learning. And I've just grown to love the history of it, and just figuring out where all these different moves come from and how they all connect, and learning like different sleights and moves, and being able to connect them together to form sentences, almost to
Mm.
kind of keep the language idea going. Um, I never knew anyone in real life who was also into magic. I would just kind of do these things, and every now and then I'd have a friend who I'd show something to, or a family member, and then I started posting videos online, and these guys from this local production group, the Magic Underground, contacted me. They're like, "Oh, your videos are great. We like
Wait,
what
wait,
you're
wait.
doing."
Sorry, let me back
Okay.
up. So, you one day you're doing your thing on your own, Mike,
Yeah.
being interested in magic. This is cool. Don't really know anyone else. And then you get and did you tell me an owl dropped off a letter and it was from the Magic Underground and it slid under your door? Is that what you
Yeah, it
said?
just slammed through a wall at the subway station.
That's
Pretty
great. The
much.
Magic Underground reached out
Yeah.
to you.
Magic Underground is a production group here in Minneapolis, the
Okay.
city where I live, and this is all happening right now. Um, and they do different shows where they showcase local magicians and bring in talent from out of town as well. They do an open mic night, and this is all stuff I was just discovering right before the world started to shut down in March. So like I went to go see them do a show in February. I got to know some of the guys, we became friends, started just, talking about doing some different events together. I brought them over to our art gallery space, co-exhibitions. Um, and we're like, yeah, we could do an event here. And they're like, yes, this is awesome. And then like the middle of March happened and everything just kind of froze up. So I started getting into live streaming and getting onto Twitch and uh, all that. And then I thought, well, I've been DJing. It'd be fun to actually just do a card magic show too. So I did a few episodes and just developed what this should actually be. Like, how do I share something that's meant to be done face to face with another person? How do I do that on a computer screen where it's just me and a camera? So I've spent the last few months just developing that. Like the first episode or two was literally just me and the camera interacting with the chat on Twitch in real time. And when I say real time, I mean I would look at the chat, see someone who's there. I'm like, hey, so and so, pick a card. 15 seconds later, the lag happens. They read the question, they think about it, they say the card. I'm like, okay. And it didn't work. And then I started bringing my friend Bird Peterson onto screen so we could do like what we're doing, talking on Zoom in real time. So I could actually have someone to interact with and have right there. And then that just it really brought it to life. It made it more of an actual real time thing because he could react, he could ask me questions. It became more of a two-way conversation or a real experience versus just me doing stuff and waiting for someone to maybe react 20 seconds later silently in a chat room. Um, but yeah, I've been bringing in some of the Magic Underground guys and uh, just trying to find other magicians who are interested in getting in on it. I've had you be a guest, and that was a lot of fun. You were a great guest. You asked good questions. You reacted enthusiastically. But it's been a fun thing to explore. Yeah, again, it's really been like learning a language, and I know language is a very important thing to you. So hopefully that analogy makes sense.
It doesn't make any sense at all.
Should we just start the interview over?
Yeah, let's
Okay.
let's cut there and let's start it over. And if you could really simplify it and make it more,
Yeah.
no,
Just
that's it's awesome. It's awesome. I love it, and I love how following DJ Mike 2600, the DJ on Twitch, and seeing what you do so well and how I've gotten better at it. And there's this like universe of DJs now that are on Twitch that are sharing and trying to make their own thing unique. And you kind of effortlessly have made it something pretty distinctive
oh
because you're
man,
bringing your interests into it, and everyone else just loves it. It's
it's been
nerdy as
fun.
shit. We're all nerdy as shit, but by
Exactly. Yeah.
combining these things that you love, uh, other, like in the stream, I saw like Four Color Zach and Serge Dunn and all these guys.
Hmm. Hmm.
Unlike someone else's page, we're talking about your magic in a chat because that's your shit, and it's like so dope and inspiring. And I know it's not
Yeah.
just magic. There's so much other stuff, and it's just like connecting those dots and doing it well and doing it with intention. Because when you do something, you do it well and with intention.
Thanks,
Slight
Adam.
night for sure. I mean, it's the point. I mean, I think it's something that you do really well, and you contextualize things really well for people.
Thank you. Yeah,
Yeah.
this has been a really fun outlet. It's kind of leveled the playing field. I mean,
Mhm.
before this, the world of DJing was, we've seen it change so much. I mean, you've been involved in the world of music and hip hop music and seeing how DJing has grown and changed for the better and the worse over the last God, 20 years or so.
Mhm.
Um, right up to this point, the most popular DJs are the ones who can get on the big festival stages with the huge sound system and the huge lights and the big everything behind them, who can play the biggest hits in the the fanciest club with the most expensive bottles of champagne. And
Hmm.
now it's everyone's on the same playing field again. We just started everything over at zero,
Yep.
and now there's a chance for DJs like myself who don't necessarily want to play big, super huge festival music or top 40 bottle service VIP
Yeah.
section music. There's a chance for me to play the weird funk music and old hip hop music that I love and I love to play. And I can find my own audience of people who also want to hear that.
Hmm.
And I don't have to worry about, trying to sell out a club or sell bottles of whatever. Um,
I would love to see your face like on a bus rap in Las Vegas, though. Just like
one
slight,
day.
and you got like cards like this,
And
like
records and a computer mouse and shit.
on a billboard next to like Avicii or
Next to
something.
like, yeah,
Did he die?
he did.
Oh
Do you want to
fuck.
do that over and say like Diplo or someone?
Rest in peace,
Yeah.
Avicii.
Um, that got
Oops.
dark.
Hey, speaking of getting dark, I think my camera's been blurry for a year. I don't know what's going on.
It's like a cool photo studio look. It's frosty. I wouldn't say blurry. It's
It's like a Playboy from 1976, like a
yeah,
centerfold.
yes.
I like it.
That's why I didn't say anything because it looks good and I didn't want you to change it
Why am I so, do I look like an angel?
in a good way. I've always thought that of you.
Dude. Okay. Well, you know what? Fuck it. Here we go. What happened? Oh, now it's getting blurry again.
You just have to keep staring at it.
I'm so not good with all this, all the wires. I'm so not good.
It's
It's the
new. I like
worst.
your mic stand. That's like full on like radio station.
This is fake. Uh,
Just green screened it. It's real. You just green screened yourself in behind it.
yeah. No, actually, it's cool. When you move to LA, they give you one of these.
Oh, because
Yeah.
you're welcome to LA. What's your podcast called?
Yeah. I'm like, that's what it's called. Um, it's called Welcome to LA. What's your podcast called? Um, yo, okay, I'm gonna get past my blurriness. Um, yeah,
Lean
one thing,
into it. Don't get past it. Just
lean into it.
yeah, it's good. No,
It's working.
figuratively. Yeah,
Oh, got it.
yeah.
I'm very dumb.
You're not. That's the
Yo,
thing.
you mentioned co-exhibitions.
I did.
What the fuck is that?
What's the sound you might be hearing in the background? Can you hear my dog?
Your dire wolf? Yeah.
Yeah, all five of them. Co-exhibitions is an art gallery space that is in the same vicinity as our print and design studio, Burlesque of North America.
So much
Um,
stuff. My
it's it's
gosh,
it's a
Mike.
lot. It's a lot. How do I do it? I don't know. Um, seriously, I don't. Um, we moved into the building we're in 2006. And when I say we, I mean our design and screen printing shop, Burlesque.
Is that what's on your
Um,
hat?
yeah, Burlesque. Yeah.
I
That's
forgot some
that's
vowels, but
the full time. Yeah, but
got it.
you got to buy them. Um, that's my full time job is graphic design and co-owner of Burlesque. Um, we're a small design and creative shop based in Northeast Minneapolis, just that way, a couple miles.
Oh, I see it. Yep.
There's that just over there. You can see it if I just point the camera the other way. When we moved into new space, one of the pluses was that we can have a place where we can actually have guests over. We can show our work. We can have events. And after maybe 4 years in our smaller space downstairs, we opened up the gallery upstairs in a much larger space. And since then, we've had pretty large shows. It's a big space, and we've filled it up. Uh, like there's a giant wall that's like 20 feet high by about 35 feet across. We did a giant Aaron Draplin mural. Aaron Draplin's, one of my favorite graphic designers. I'm sure
Shout
you're
out Aaron
fond of.
Draplin.
Yeah,
Yep.
just a hugely important figure in graphic design right now. He's just
Hmm.
he fights the good fight. several times over, but we did a giant mural of his work on that wall. We had 123 Clan, which is a husband and wife graffiti and graphic design duo from Montreal, Quebec. They
Ooh.
came in and they painted on the wall, and then they filled the space with their prints and other paintings. We've done group shows of local illustrators. We've done when Soundset, the music festival was happening, we would have the visiting graffiti artists for the festival come in and showcase their work, like the weekend of the festival. It's just been a great space to have different events there and just showcase different kinds of creativity. I got married in there.
Did
Um,
you? You sound? Yeah, it sounds like you were surprised by that. Like,
I kind of was. I mean,
huh,
when we first got the space, I was definitely not like, oh, this will be great for my wedding. But it just turned out to be the right space
hmm,
to make it happen in. We did a couple of art shows called Cinco de Mayhem, where on Cinco de Mayo weekend we had local artists build their own piñatas that we like auctioned off to let people destroy them, and just donated a bunch of money and canned foods to a local charity. Um, it just turned into a wild, super fun event.
that's so dope.
Yeah.
There's something about. Go ahead.
If you look behind you, there's a framed print on your shelf, right? I'm pointing at it right there on your screen. Wait, keep going.
Right
That
there.
one right there. We did in 2000. Ooh, we did a show in 2011 called "Trust Me"
Hmm.
with artist Adam R Garcia, wherein the artist created illustrations and passed them off. No, he received illustrations from other artists and completed them,
Hmm.
uh, and he would request that the artists trust him
Hmm.
to safely handle their work and turn it into something new and Adam Garcia-fied.
Yeah, it was cool. I still like my favorite thing out of all of it was not only that y'all let me do it, but the poster itself and the printing process. I like love the poster, and the poster made it onto hit TV show Empire. Remember that?
Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. Um,
And you couldn't see it at all in the frame.
two of my posters have been featured as backdrops for sex scenes on Empire.
Really?
Yeah, they've
What
been
what
very
ones
supportive.
like the alphabet poster, the kids alphabet poster?
No, the tools of the trade,
That's a good one.
and that was where it was hanging on the wall, and then like you'd see two people in bed, and then the camera would be like, "Oop, up to the poster," and then fade out. And then the other one was a Sue George tour poster.
Awesome.
But like I sent them the poster, but then the one they used on screen was enormous. So I think they like scanned it in somehow and just printed one that's like twice as big, or they used very small actors.
Yeah, I think that's what they did. Because I
That's
know
easier, yeah.
they were on a budget that season, and they had to get smaller versions of all the actors because it was. Um, it would be cool taking inspiration from that, doing a tools of the trade poster with all sex toys. Have you thought of that?
I've thought about doing an NC-17 version of the alphabet poster
Nice. So like,
where each letter, like
just like
A stands for
for what? Uh,
ass.
Oh, like a butt. Okay.
Yeah.
So let's do a couple more letters.
Oh boy.
What would you? I mean, X is pretty straightforward.
X-ray
X-ray machine.
of your butt.
Butt. Yep. Butt X-ray. That's
Yeah.
right. One thing that I like, you and I have collaborated a bit in the past too. We were in a music
Yes.
group or three
Mm-hmm.
together.
Yeah.
Um, um, we've
Should I get
done,
the flyer for
we
that?
do a
I
lot
have
of
the flyer.
drawings. Sure.
I can get the flyer in like less than 10 seconds. Hold on.
Okay, cool. I'll just hang out here. Boring. Hmm. Dead air. Oh, impressive force. I was thinking Menelesia. I forgot about impressive force.
Oh no, yeah,
Let's see.
this is where it started. The impressive force. So
With
there's the
koalas.
yeah, this is our second show.
Yep. McLon, Mike the 2600 King. There he is.
Yeah, see there from the
Snakebird
yeah,
and DJ Espada. Shout out Damien. Jamie.
yeah, Jamie and
Shout out Jamie
yeah,
Venezuela.
this is a Triple Rock Social Club.
Rest in peace, Triple Rock.
Yeah. We
Damn.
did Now Gotta Wreck the Rhyme. It's one night only for the second time.
And that font is ITC Serif Gothic.
Is it?
Yeah, the top one, the
Huh.
Impressive Force one.
Oh yeah, yeah, the top one. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Shout out
Only
to
with no ligatures.
oh yeah. Well, because yeah, I had to do the fake lecture set version.
Yeah, that's good.
Shout out Ed Bengat
Mm-hmm.
and Herb Lubalin, R.I.P. to the gods.
Um, yeah, man. I have another question for you. Like,
Yes.
you do a ton of shit, and this is where it gets a little psychoanalyzy because I want to know as a homie things about my friend Mike.
Yeah.
Like, I've known you for almost 20 years, maybe like
Almost 20
18,
years.
17
Yeah.
years. I think I met you in 2002 at the Loring Pasta Bar.
No, we met
Fine.
in like maybe 2001 at Grills and Skills in Rockford, Illinois.
I forgot about that. I
It
was there
was very
painting
brief.
with
It
I
was
was there
very brief.
painting with my guy Kuma,
Yeah,
KF
I
crew,
was mainly talking with Kuma, like we were kind of walking around, and then
as I
I
would do as well. I'd be like,
yeah,
fuck
well,
that
because like
guy.
he was more like he kind of came up and talked. I think you were more like I gotta finish my painting.
Yeah,
Um, that that must have been yeah 2001 2002.
that's right. That was
Yeah,
Grills and Skill. Where was that again?
Rockford, Illinois.
That's right. Yeah, we did a road trip. We were painting a lot. Road tripped out to Grills and Skills. Ended up meeting a bunch of cats there. Like met you guys. There was you were living in St. Louis at the time, right?
I was yeah.
And what magazine was out of St. Louis? Were there magazines out of
Um,
St. Louis?
no, I mean I had that's like where I started DJing.
Yep,
When I was in college, and then after college, I had a crew called Litter Thugs. It
that's
was
right.
me and Doug Surreal, Ryan B, and Bitch Ass Darius, and a few others.
I like how you, me and bitch ass
Bitch Ass
Darius.
Darius. Well, because he has so many other DJ names, I just didn't know which one I wanted to
Uh,
land on, and figured just
you said the best one.
get the best one out of the way first.
Yeah.
Always
Cool.
start with your strongest work.
Yeah. Nice. Is that
Yeah.
okay? So
Okay.
I
So
keep derailing, but
so we met, and
so
then
we
we really met for real when I moved to Minneapolis in 2003.
yeah, and you moved there and started doing the Life Sucks Die stuff, and
Right.
that was the beginning of burlesque. Life Sucks
Yeah.
Die was one of the most incredible, again, like unique graffiti slash underground subcultural like journalistic magazines with incredible graphic design by dudes like I mean uh Ewok was there, Ewok
Hmm.
HM was there, Todd
Yeah.
Brattrud was
Yeah.
there,
Aaron Horkey.
Wes Winship obviously was still a
Yeah.
part of burlesque,
Hmm.
Aaron Horkey, the
Yeah.
god. um yeah, I mean that I remember seeing Life Six Die. That's where I started realizing I think like what graphic design could do
Oh
and
wow.
how you could share it. Was that a cow noise I just heard? Was that a
Yeah.
moo?
It's yeah. Yeah.
It is this where you get your jerky from? What's this?
Yes. Just livestock.
What the fuck is going on over there?
You can just edit that out.
Let's keep going.
Just nose blowing in another room.
Okay, got it. Um,
Jesus.
Because in Minnesota, you never know. There's just cows on the street. Cows on the
Just
street.
very
Cows on the
aggressive.
street. Um,
Life Sucks Die magazine.
yeah. But I more than all that cool stuff and all that history, I think I want to know about Mike, the human who does and is interested in a ton of things
Yeah.
and loves looking stuff up
Hmm.
and being able to connect those dots. You also have a huge love of language, which may just, I think you're just
Yeah.
naturally a smart dude that loves language. And then being a part of hip hop makes you, and hanging out with rappers and DJs, like wordplay and rap and that kind of stuff,
Oh
it all
yeah.
fits together in the games, the like language games that we're always playing with each other,
Yeah.
right?
Always.
But also, what impulse is it in Michael Brian Davis? What impulse is it to like keep, honestly, man, like keep going and keep doing stuff and keep putting new stuff out? Like where did it come from? And I would love to know a little bit about just like that kind of if it's philosophy or how you
Yeah.
balance it or what the point is.
Why do I do all this stuff? It's funny. Just a short little anecdote. I watch a lot of like card magic instruction videos and all that stuff. And there's a lecture by Tommy Wonder, who I assume is the origin of Ben Stiller's character
Hmm.
on Arrested Development, Tony Wonder. But he's giving a lecture on, he shows, some card tricks and then he explains how they work. But he's like telling stories. He's like, a magician will do this and he'll make the card vanish. Why does he do it? It's because he can. And then it really makes you think of like, why does a magician do what he does? Is it to show off that he can? Is it part of a bigger story that he's telling? But that just jumped into my mind when you were asking that. But I think it's because growing up, I was just always fascinated with cartoons and toys and just visual things, and I fell in love with MTV early on and music videos, and I loved rap music and rock music, um, skateboarding, and just things that were associated with just, I don't know, not sports.
Hmm.
Um, I was never super good at sports, and maybe I always felt that like music and art were just something that I could I could excel in
Hmm.
and just be good at and share that with people. I always loved sharing music and sharing art with people, whether if not even something that I made, but just like check out this band that I found. I love making tapes for people. Like, I'd get a bunch of CDs and tapes and just make little mixtapes, not even DJ mix, just like song one, song two, song three. Um, and just, I love sharing that with people and just, you know, helping expose people to music maybe they didn't know or something that was just exciting to me. Um, and I think that just has carried through all these years. Like, I love learning about stuff and sharing it in different ways, whether it's music or design that I made or um, some designer or artist that I found out about or just want to support and share, or a card trick or just something that is exciting and is worth sharing and getting someone else excited about it.
That's uh, that's great. Yeah, I mean, share. The first thing I was thinking was sharing. Like, there's something
Yeah.
about enthusiasm and sharing, and like the giving of energy. And you've
Yeah.
always been very giving with your energy, and I think that's to me like that's the point. That's the point too. Like a lot of stuff has been given away um, in a really, really good way and shared, and I think that's part of what makes Mike is great. Is like obviously you're incredibly talented, you're incredibly
Thanks, man.
thoughtful, you're intentional. Um, you but you give a lot and you share a shitload, and yeah, I mean it makes the people around you better, it makes your friends better, it makes the community better, and it inspires the shit out of people to keep doing the same thing, you know. And I think it's pretty dope. And I
Jeez, thanks,
think that
man.
it's absolutely infectious in the best way possible. And I'm very happy that Mike Brian Davis energy is out here in the world. So
Man,
good
thanks,
answer.
Adam.
Also, you could have just said, when I was growing up, I was into not sports, and I would have known exactly what you were talking
I
about.
think I was writing the story in real time, so
Yeah,
I had to
yeah,
psychologically get to that point
for
before I could
future
actually just
reference.
say it. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm gonna say
next
the
time.
same thing. If everyone's like, "What were you into growing up?" I'd be like, "Not sports,"
Yeah, sports, the opposite.
and
And
they'll be
like I
like,
would
"Oh,
try. Yeah, yeah. Oh,
oh,
one of those.
dude, I played football for a couple years,
Yeah.
and one day, so I was a huge role playing part of THISTOPIA, which is what this thing is going to all be
Mm-hmm.
about. Part of it is about like role playing games.
Yeah.
It all kind of starts there and ends there for me. It's my creative impetus kind of began with like RPGs and character creation and world building. And I realized like in hip hop, we're all making up these characters, whether it's making up like
Mm.
superheroes when you're a kid and drawing the superheroes. I just found a sketchbook from like 1993 and it's all me making up superheroes. What do we got?
Record selecting. I mean,
Yeah, totally. I
that's
mean, look
it
at
right here.
Planet
Yeah.
Rock. Like these are all, and I think there's something about hip hop without getting too hip hoppy. Like there's something about hip hop that is the creation of an identity or a character that is kind of an escape from the reality. When you think about where
Yeah.
hip hop was born from,
Hmm.
they're not singer songwriters that came up in great neighborhoods that named themselves what their name is because they're proud of themselves. It's like, I'm going to wear this other costume and be someone else.
Yeah.
And I mean, like for me, that's what resonated with me. Like, oh, you can embody this other identity and become it.
Mm-hmm.
And over time, I mean, it's incredibly psychological and interesting, but I think it is. Um, uh, uh, but what the fuck was I talking about, Mike? I blacked out.
You're talking about not sports.
Oh
And
yeah, yeah. So I used to play a lot of role. Thank you so much. So I used to play a lot of role playing games when I was a kid, and when I was like a linebacker in ninth grade,
I
and
don't, I don't know what that is.
a linebacker.
I hear, I know the word. Like if you say linebacker, I'm like, oh yeah, that's like
So
football. But it,
football jerseys.
yes.
So you know how there's numbers on the back.
Yeah.
So I paint the lines, the numbers.
Hence art. That was my foray into art. Like I
Uh,
like sports, but just the part where I draw the lines really straight.
yeah, I was like a linebacker and like a defensive. Maybe I wasn't a linebacker. Fuck.
My whole
Is
life
that
was a
from a
lie.
movie? Yeah, I was at Notre Dame and I was on the bench.
Yeah.
And then one day, no, I think I was like a defensive or offensive tackle or something. I was like a bigger kid and I ran at people and knocked them down. And I would often sack my own quarterback by accident, which is not a good thing.
No.
Um, but
I know that much about football.
yeah, we would play D&D at my friend Chris's house, and Chris lived across the street from like the football court from the football field. And me and my other friend Alex, we both were on the same team. We
Hmm.
both hated being in football, but we did it because we thought it was something you had to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
And one morning before football practice, instead of going to football, I stopped a block away at my friend Chris's house. And I knocked on his bedroom window early in the morning, and he opened up the window, and I crawled in the window, and I'm like, don't tell Alex that I skipped. I'm going to tell him I was sick. I don't want to go to football practice. And Chris was sitting there wide-eyed looking at me. And then I heard, I think his friend, oh, no, no, no. The closet opened up and my friend Alex was in there hiding in case I stopped by.
What?
And we both laughed and then we just stayed there and played D&D because
You
we both
both
hated it, but we're trying to like one up one another.
beautiful.
um, we hated it. One time we often got laughed at. We would go and like jump through the sprinklers, like dance through the sprinklers while everyone was playing and shit. And like, um, it was horrible. I don't want them
I hear you.
triggered.
Yeah. I mean, I played soccer in I think like eighth grade or ninth grade, and I liked it. Like we played a lot growing up in the neighborhood, and it was fun. But I was never, I was just never a sports person. That it wasn't my calling.
You
I
look
mean,
like you could be a sports caster.
I maybe if I knew more enough about sports, which I think you heard my question about a linebacker.
I don't know
I
what a linebacker is
Yeah,
either.
uh,
Yeah. Well, let's. It's 11:45. We've been doing this
yeah,
for 45 minutes. Let's
wow,
wrap it up. Sounds like you
yeah,
got cows closing in on your house. You
yeah,
got
yeah.
all sorts of stuff going on. Um, I don't. This is the first time I've ever done like any kind of interview. Obviously, I'm not very good at asking questions or
False.
talking.
I think you're doing a great job.
That's what I was digging for. Thank you
Yeah.
so much. Um, let's tell our two viewers where they can find you and when they can find you
Oh,
and what your address is.
and how they can find me,
Yeah.
and why they can find
And
me.
why? Let's start with
Yeah,
why.
why?
Why are you
Why they
worth
can?
it?
Um,
Why should they spend their valuable attention on you and not the
on
millions of other
me.
things in the world they can look
Yeah,
at?
that's a good question. I offer entertainment, and if it's worth checking out, and if you want to experience vector illustrations or funk and rap music or card magic, then you can visit me on my Instagram page at Mike2600. Um, and that's open 24 hours a day. If you
Wow.
want to hear me, just like, I don't know, make fun of stupid politicians and maybe talk about rap music every now and then, you can follow me on Twitter at Mike2600. And that's open 24 hours a day. I'm on Twitch, usually DJing, occasionally doing slight night events that we were talking about earlier, and that's at DJ Mike2600. Because I think I registered the Mike2600 name like a few years ago, but I don't know how to access it anymore, so I had to redo it. And I'm streaming like a couple times a week. No set schedule, but just
So that's not
feel a
24 hours a
surprise.
day.
I mean, you can go there any time of day and just wait and watch old videos, most
Mm-hmm.
of which are still largely available.
Mm-hmm. That's
But
great.
live things happen like about once a week or twice or three times a week.
Well, damn.
Well,
Michael Bryan, thank you,
Davis.
Davis. I forgot the last part. I'm like, Donovan? Um, yeah, man, thanks so much.
Thank you.
I appreciate you yeah, being supportive and giving to me. I appreciate what you give to me. uh yeah, man, I appreciate you, and in a non-corny way, I think the world is a far better place. Yeah, what I meant to say was, I think the world is a far better place with you in it. That was the most heartwarming ending ever. I'm not used to my OBS software, so I cut the chat off a little early. I promise you, it was the most heartwarming, tear-jerking ending you've ever seen between two grown-ass men giving each other compliments and telling each other that they love each other. Just imagine that. I'm tearing up thinking about that ending and how dope it was. But I cut it off by accident, because I have an itchy trigger finger, and I'm just learning how this works. So next time I'll make sure the whole interview is a part. Mike, sorry for messing it up. Um, how's the mic sound? Is it all right? Let's turn it up a little bit. All right. Okay, guys, I'm gonna end that here. Appreciate y'all stopping by. This is THISTOPIA. That was Synthesizing. I'm Adam. Thanks. It'll be better, I promise.